Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Juliet Huck on the line, and she's founder of the Academy of Persuasion and author of The Equation of Persuasion and also 50 Ways to Get Your Way. Juliet, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, my gosh. So with book titles like that, The Equation of Persuasion, 50 Ways to Get Your Way, I'm like, you sound like a woman that's used to getting her way.
Well, I work at it, that's for sure. Definitely work at it. It's a process. It's definitely a process.
Awesome. So let's just jump right in. Let's get into the Academy of Persuasion. Tell us a little bit more about the Academy, please.
Yeah, this has actually kind of been a passion project of mine. I have been a consultant, a persuasion strategist for almost 25 years now in the litigation world. And I've always thought that I have gained all this experience going to trial with my clients, sales opportunities, large Fortune 500, being in front of Fortune 500 company executives. And I just thought, gosh, these younger people might want to learn what I've learned. So I had this idea for a long time. It took me quite a few years to get this off the ground. But I, had written some books, and like I said, I've been consulting for over 25 years. So I thought, well, why not do an e-learning academy as well as group training and start to get my experience out to others that can learn from either my mistakes or my great successes. So that's how it was born.
Man, I love that, and you're never easy to put together an academy or anything like that, but it's so vital. So the whole point is that somebody can learn some of the things that took you, decades to learn in your career faster because you have it distilled into something in bite-sized chunks that they can, consume as they go along. Tell us a little bit more about the kind of the nuts and the bolts of the academy, so that people that are listening to this right now, interested in going through it, can kind of know what to expect.
So right now we have one course that's up. We just launched the first course not quite a week ago, and it is at the academyofpersuasion.com. And the first course is based on the balancing the four elements of persuasion. Basically, what that's going to be is that it's going to be the main part of the formula that I feel is very important to be persuasive. So basically, you're going to have be able to walk into the academy. The intro is about 7 minutes long. It's going to give you some really great information right up front for free. And then you get to decide from there if you want to take the course. It's a 1 hour course, 15-minute classes, which create the hour. And then basically what we're going to start doing from here is we're going to just start putting content together and either go with a subscription after we build a library, or we'll just keep offering the courses at a certain price. And then we're also going to be talking about group training that we can do live, individual training, whatever kind of thing that we can kind of try and put together for people that want to learn. So I'm really excited about that part of it. And then there's also some free downloads and some information that they can get right off the bat.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about the books. I do want to spend a little bit of our time on that also. So the Equation of Persuasion, how did that come about?
Well, that came about that actually came about in the downturn of the economy, believe it or not. I had a consultancy group in downtown Los Angeles for a very long time with quite a few employees. And I started to see the industry was changing along with the economy. And I thought, wow, I've worked on some really big cases like Enron, large billion-dollar projects. And I thought, wow, some of this stuff really needs to be documented and archived. And what would be the best way to do that? So this is a very large book. It's a coffee table size book, 230-some pages, but it's also extremely visual because I'm a huge believer that visual retention is what really drives a lot of information. So it's a 4-color book. It's more of a manual. It's not your average coffee table book because you're going to learn something out of it versus just look at it. But it documents all these different graphics and processes and things that I've done over the years that have really helped secure billions of dollars in decisions for my clients.
Wow, that's amazing. And it looks beautiful, by the way. So for everybody listening, it's a big like hardcover. Like obviously, this isn't like a flip through paperback. It's a beautiful book. And the second book, 50 Ways to Get Your Way. Tell us a little bit more about that. And that one came out 2018.
Yeah. That's another little side passion project for me. I thought the big book was a little more heavy. I call this my little book with heart. It's literally just a small kind of pocket book you might find at the airport or some kind of gift store. And it's a picture book, but it's photographs and lessons learned that I grew up on the farm with, believe it or not, out in Ohio. And what I call common sense values. And common sense values to me are things like empathy. Are you able to listen? Do you have perseverance? So this is actually 50 ways to look at yourself before you look at, going out to a potential client or potential employer. But how do you look at yourself to be persuasive? Most people think it's about how you have to look at the person, sitting in front of you. But I'm like, no, this is a book about reflection. So it's really a fun little book on just common sense things that I grew up with that, my parents taught me that, you just have to work harder. You have to listen to people. You have to be respectful. Things that I kind of think might be missing at times sometimes these days. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a fun little book to put together. But again, it's very visual and a very short little read, which was a lot of fun.
Can you give us a story, an example of a story, one of the stories from that book?
Yeah. Let's see.
Because I'm from Michigan, so I want to know one of these stories. I'm like, I love a good Midwestern story. Take me home.
Midwestern stories? Well, yeah. So, actually, what's kind of funny is that one of the spreads in the book is about patience, which is not something I have a lot of. And I actually,
you said self-reflection.
I from my own. Yes, it's a total self-reflection, right?
For yourself, not myself, right? I didn't say which self.
That's right. 50 ways to get my own way, right? So in the intro of that, there's a photograph of a man holding potatoes, and which my father was a potato farmer. And I talk about the fact that do you really have the patience of what it takes to grow something? If you have somebody in front of you, what does that really mean to have the patience to not just walk in the door and expect everything right now, which is what our society kind of is, right? So we basically, it's a way to really look at yourself that do you have the patience to put yourself in the shoes of your decision maker sitting in front of you? That's the golden rule to me of persuasion is can you get out of your own shoes and get in the shoes of your decision maker, because that's really what it's all about. And there's where empathy comes in, patience, respect, and just a lot of ways that you can look at yourself. But the story behind that is really that my dad used to talk to us a lot of times in what I would always call farm language. And he would say things like, don't hold the nickel so close to your eye you can't see the quarter. And then he'd walk away.
Oh, that's good. That's so good.
Like,
that's what I wanted from you. I knew you had it in you, and I was waiting. Yeah. That's what I want. Oh man, that's so good.
So that's the type of thing that that's how we were taught. And I always, I always said I had a PhD in common sense because I had parents that really, my dad wasn't a big talker, but when he said something, it was, you really needed to kind of understand what he was talking about. And lessons learned throughout my life and throughout my, my upbringing as a kid that you don't want to listen to your parents, but then you realize when you're actually getting older that those lessons are there. So it's very important that was kind of resonating for me to get out to other people. So there's a few of those what I call farm philosophies in the back of this little book that we're always told to just go with the flow, and my dad's like, you don't go with the flow because dead fish go with the flow, so you need to be able to stand out. And that's the way he would talk.
Come on, Juliet's dad just schooled me and the whole audience. We're like, what? Don't go with the flow because dead fish go with the flow, and don't hold a nickel so close to your eye you can't see the quarter. What? Mind blown. Gosh, your dad would have been amazing on Twitter.
Yeah.
just him on Twitter all day, Dad. It's great. Oh my God! About
10 pages in the back, but But then I have little anecdotes and little things that I've said in the base of all of these pages that just give you little reminders of what you need to think about.
Oh, I love it. Well, Juliet, I could talk to you about this all day long, but we're about out of time. If somebody's listening to this and they want more information on the Academy of Persuasion or on your books, what's the best way for them to reach out and to connect?
The best way to reach out and connect is to catch me at Academy of Persuasion, at Academy of Persuasion on Instagram, and direct message me. The other way to get hold of me is to go to my LinkedIn page and send me a message through that. We're in the process right now of setting up all email, everything else. It's so brand new that we're getting all the technical stuff together. But that's really the best way. And then you can go on to the Academy of Persuasion.com and also set up a time to give us a call if you want to do group training or individual training or anything like that. So there's 3 or 4 ways to get a hold of me, as well as the Facebook page of Academy of Persuasion Facebook page.
Awesome. Well, hey, Juliet, really appreciate you coming on the show today and telling us more about your books and also about the Academy of Persuasion. I know a lot of people are going to benefit from that. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of fun. You had a lot of fun listening to this because we had a lot of fun making this for you. If you did, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you are if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there. But also leave us some comments on the video. Love to continue the conversation there and hear what kind of stuff you're working on. And Juliet, thanks again for coming on the show.